Good day. I'd like to welcome you back to another episode of On the North Road. And today I have the pleasure of speaking with Kingsley Leung from Agility Forex here in our home city of Edmonton. Kingsley, you and I have been hanging out in the financial services community here for 20 years, and our paths have crossed many times. And today we get to cross paths here online. So welcome to the North Road. Can you give us a little bit of a background on your role in foreign exchange and how you got into that space here in Edmonton?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks again, Marshall, for having me, and it's been great to partner with North Road on talking about everything money and everything currency. So I've been in the foreign exchange world for about 19 years. I was with a previous firm before here in Edmonton. Pretty much just landed into it all of a sudden. I came out of university, went to Vancouver for a little bit, and then I came back to Edmonton and landed into this role pretty much right away. I had some family connections and that sort of thing to get me into the previous role. And then we left that one company, and then we joined Agility, but as part as owners.
Yeah.
So we have this ownership piece with Agility, which is nice, and it comes with challenges as well. But it's been a great ride joining Agility just a few years ago. Agility Forex has been around for about 12 years. It's based in Vancouver, but we started our flagship branch now here in Edmonton, and we have branches all across the country, and we do have a global reach. And it's been great to work with partners such as North Road to work with clients that are essentially just looking to transfer money all over the world, and a lot of people are just looking for that service where they would prefer to have a full service brokerage to help them move money from point A to point B, to ensure that there are minimal risks involved, that they're getting a fair exchange rate, and things are just happening and giving that cost certainty, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing, and it's been a great ride, like as I mentioned, and looking forward to the future.
Very good. I would love to have a conversation with you about how successful Canadians approach foreign exchange, first in kind of the world of travel. I'd like you to talk a little bit about what are some tips with regards to our clients going to Europe, going to Central America? What do we need to know about foreign exchange, and what are some of the options that we can all consider to lower the costs on our foreign exchange as we travel?
That's a good question. And I think a lot of people don't realize that they have a choice, right? Your bank has a purpose and has their own exchange rates.
Yeah.
But there's also a choice. There are alternatives out there that are superior when it comes to whether it's service, exchange rates, and that sort of thing. So I would always encourage people to do their due diligence when it comes to that sort of thing. For people who are traveling, so the first thing is, for people with wealth who are looking to purchase property overseas, or to buy a car or buy a boat, larger ticket items, typically I would recommend using a foreign exchange broker to facilitate that, because they're able to get competitive exchange rates, are able to often wire transfer money directly to who you need to pay, quickly, efficiently, and with very little fees compared to the bank.
Mm-hmm.
For those who are traveling, that's a different story, because that opens up a little bit more options. So you could use a foreign exchange
Often
broker, absolutely.
the amount of money that's needed per transaction's quite small, right?
Exactly. So they're often a little smaller. So there are recommendations out there, such as there are these no fee credit cards that are a bit of a unicorn out there. There's not a lot of banks that are offering these cross border and no foreign exchange fees.
Yeah.
There's also something out there called the Wise card. I have no affiliation with Wise myself, but I personally do use it because
Okay.
I find it quite useful, and it's
Okay.
convenient.
Yeah. Give
Right?
us the a minute or two on what is Wise and how are Canadians using it for travel?
Sure. So the Wise card is convenient because you can use it as a credit or debit card. So you can get a physical card delivered to you, and you can use that just to tap on processing payment terminals
Yeah.
or anywhere you want to go. So let's say you want to go to Mexico, you can load up the card with peso. So
Right.
you just everything's done online electronically. You can load up a certain amount of peso, and the cool thing is that it just debits out of your Canadian account to pay for that purchase instantaneously.
Hmm.
And with there are some fees, but they're not extravagant. So there's a
Hmm.
bit of a processing fee to move the money into your account, but it is instantaneously done, and you have right away the use of peso, for example, or British pounds or euros wherever you're traveling, and you can use it as a tap or debit card right in hand.
Right.
There are some restrictions if you want to take out cash. I think it's about $300 or $400 a day that you can take out from an ATM. But most people like myself who use the Wise card, if I go to Mexico, I just use it instead of cash
Right.
because it's convenient. I don't have to worry about if I have excess cash after my trip to sell it back. How do I find a place to do that? I can just literally use this Wise card as a debit or credit card, and it's like I said, it's very convenient with very little fees.
Great. Very good. And part of their fee structure is a foreign exchange spread, I would imagine, right? For their own
Well,
product.
you would think so, but I did my research as well, and the Wise card has very little exchange fees. There's hardly any markup.
Hmm.
It's their fees are just as good as a foreign exchange broker like Agility.
Okay.
Um, but like I said, it is a little bit more restrictive. So it
Yeah.
typically handles smaller type transactions.
Yeah.
And so when you're looking at the bigger ticket items, Wise is a bit more restrictive in
Okay.
that regard.
So one option is to look at a credit card, no foreign exchange credit card. I think Scotiabank has one in the marketplace. Not lots of options. So our clients would have to get another credit card account and go through that process. I think a lot of people won't do that just for a trip, but some people would. Another option is to look at Wise, right? And
Mhm.
to buy foreign exchange through Wise and then use that as a bank card and or a credit card, right? The same
Correct.
network will allow. So when you use your Wise card, Kingsley, are you asking it to do a debit transaction or a credit transaction, or does it automatically default to debit?
You can have different ways to pay for your purchase, right? So the easiest and most convenient is to set up your pre-authorized debit, so your
Okay.
PAD. So that's what I do because if even if I'm in Mexico and I can just go onto my app on my phone, I can just say I need to purchase another 2,000 peso, and right there on the spot, it will just debit out of my Canadian account. I think I paid like a $12 transfer fee, and I have access to that peso immediately.
Okay.
So it's fairly convenient. The other option is if you don't want to use the pre-authorized debit, which is totally fine. A lot of people may not be comfortable with that, but you would then have to get your bank to transfer, or you go online and do a transfer from your account to Wise directly. Takes a few hours to do that, so it's not as instantaneous. But there are options to get money back into your Wise account to pay for all your foreign currency.
Okay. So now what if I use bank machines abroad, my Canadian dollar debit card, and to get cash? Talk to me a little bit about like what are the pros and cons of doing that and maybe some tips on how to get the best rate.
Using your Canadian debit card at ATMs is probably not recommended because the bank right there will automatically put a 2 to 4% spread on the exchange. So
Okay.
if you go over to Europe and you want to use your credit or your Canadian card to take out euro, that bank right there in Europe is going to charge you 2 to 4% or more, plus fees to take out that cash.
Okay.
So it's convenient if you want to just if you don't really care as much, you just want to be able to get a cash, whether it's an emergency or if you need access to
Yeah.
cash right away. Of course, you can do that, but you're going to be paying a bit more for that convenience. So that's why I think things like the Wise card is recommended as an alternative to that because you essentially can use the Wise card as a debit or credit card without the exchange fees.
Okay.
Their rates are quite good actually,
Yeah.
and you can just use that to use for purchases at different terminals. Right. The only restriction about that is the limit that you can use it to, and also obviously it's not cash, not
Yeah.
it's not physical cash.
Yeah.
So that's the big difference.
So let's talk about Mexico. We have a number of clients that spend a part of their life and all of their life in Mexico. We've been working with your firm for transactions for quite some time. Talk to us about like the flow of money that kind of leaves a Canadian bank account, how it gets to Mexico, what it costs, and our clients always have Mexican bank accounts. Um, yeah, how does that work, Kingsley?
Yeah, I think, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but all the clients that we've dealt with, your clients that have come over, they're so happy. They're just ecstatic in terms of finding not only an alternative to getting better exchange rates, but getting money almost instantaneously in Mexico.
Yeah.
So I'll just back up two steps. When you want to work with a broker like Agility, like with myself, essentially we set you up within 24 hours. So I send you a link. We want to make sure that we do our due diligence and our compliance to ensure that we know who you are as an individual. So there are some compliance questions and some information, some IDs and that sort of thing that we get. It's very standard. But once we have you set up with an Agility account, you just essentially call me, text me, email me, and just let me know how much money you want to move, whether that's a certain amount of Canadian into peso, or if you want to end up with a certain amount of peso, I can purchase that and then debit right out of your Canadian account.
Mhm.
And because we use a platform called Ripple, specifically for Mexico. That transfer is almost instantaneously. You will see the money once I purchase the money and press send. It gets there probably in about 20 minutes.
Mhm.
So it's a pretty slick system. There are no fees for us to transfer that, so we don't charge our customers for any transfers to Mexico. So if you're looking for the most competitive exchange rates for Canadian to peso, if you're looking for no fees
Yeah.
for transfers, if you're looking for even advice in terms of timing,
Yeah.
because as a foreign exchange broker, that's what I do is I advise all my clients in terms of best time to maximize their return. If you have if you're looking at a property purchase and you have 2 weeks, we can kind of keep an eye on things and say, okay, maybe today is the best time to jump on buying your
Yeah.
peso.
Yeah.
So it's the advice that a lot of people I think realize just so that they have a more informed decision when it comes to buying, especially larger amounts of money.
Yeah.
The last thing was the speed of service. So
Mhm.
we can effectively have peso land in your account in Mexico instantaneously. And if there are any issues, I'm available much more, I would say much more available than maybe some people over at the bank who you need to kind of dig around to try to
Yeah.
find. But
Well, it's nice that,
I'm
that
always available.
when we work with you and your firm, there's a relationship there. Like I know I can
Correct.
connect with somebody, and I like that. Us moving money down to Mexico, because you have a bank account in Mexico that will receive the dollars. Like it just happens so fast. And not we're not working through the wire process, correct, Kingsley?
Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And wires just cost a lot of money to move through the system. So we can avoid that. I mean that's great.
Yep.
Um, you're also helping clients in places like the Middle East, right? People that are working in the UAE or Saudi Arabia. You've got the capacity to kind of move money to there and back to Canada for
Mhm.
Canadians that are working.
Yes. We work, so our banking relationship in Europe is with Barclays Bank.
Okay.
I think a lot of people have heard of Barclays. And so essentially with our relationship with Barclays, that effectively allows us to buy and sell currency in the UAE.
Mhm.
So Dirham, so the is the currency out there, and we have a lot of Canadians who are either working out there or who have contractors out there that they need to pay, or are trying to move money out of the UAE back into Canada. And
Yeah.
so Barclays Bank is essentially our hub to buy and sell that currency. And it's not as fast as peso with using Ripple. So it is using the kind of the Swift network. So we are talking about wire transfers back and forth. But we're talking about like 1 to 3 business days. So it's still fairly quick when it
Yeah.
comes to moving and transferring money back and forth.
So when I travel abroad, I like to take a few credit cards. One being if one of these credit cards starts to fail on me, I've got a backup. But bad things happen to good people, right, Kingsley? And keeping a credit card tucked away inside of the hotel safe might be a good idea, eh?
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're going overseas, it's you just never know. And then having any personal information, whether that's your passport or credit cards, just out and about is probably not advisable.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can't be avoided, but if you're looking to transfer larger sums of money, uh, especially if you have an account already, let's say somewhere in the UAE, or if you have a relative that has an account over there, I always recommend that we uh, wire transfer money directly from your bank account
Yeah.
to that bank account. So
Okay.
everything is done electronically. It's tracked properly. If anything happens, we can do a wire trace. So
Hmm.
there are alternatives, and I think better alternatives to moving money instead of banking on using credit cards.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. But if you will travel with a credit card and having a couple with you and then one that doesn't always go in your wallet, it stays back at the hotel somewhere safe. If if you lose your wallet, or if you're get something stolen from you, that at least you have a quick backup, right?
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
just a phone call away if you need to kind of like that emergency wire to be sent out to you.
Okay, amazing. Kingsley, this is super helpful information. Um, I mean, I kind of think the big takeaways are understand that organizations make money from foreign exchange. That's not evil. It's just a fact. And, being able to shop for a more competitive rate is probably a worthwhile endeavor, especially when we're buying homes, when we're buying cars, when we're kind of topping up large amounts for our 6 months or our forever life in another country like Mexico, right? Um, how did I do? That makes sense.
Right. Yeah, no, that's exactly you hit the nail right on the head. That's exactly what foreign exchange brokers do. We just kind of scour the market for the best possible rates to provide our clients,
Yeah,
and we just offer the best possible rates right off the bat. We don't kind of play that game where if you have more money, we'll lower the rate, that sort of thing. It's
yeah,
just if you, as long as you're doing more than 10K
yeah.
Canadian worth, but with us, you're getting the absolute best possible exchange rate on the market.
Very good. Now, pivoting into the most important thing that we need to talk about today is you've got a big week coming up in connection to the Edmonton Fringe Festival. My friend Kingsley is an actor, and I'd love you to tell our clients about your work in the acting space and how that's going this week.
Yeah, thanks. All promotion is great promotion, and I've been doing community theater for the last 20, 25 years. I'm a bit of a late bloomer, really. Only really in my adult life, but I love it, right? So I work during the day, but at night I enjoy kind of whether it's doing musical theater or stage plays. I just really enjoy the process, and the community that we have here in Edmonton is amazing.
Amazing, yeah.
So what I have, the Edmonton Fringe Festival is coming up starting tomorrow, actually on the
Oh,
14th
today,
of
doesn't
August.
it's opening today, I think.
Oh, you're right. No, right. Yeah, today. Officially, it does open today. You are absolutely right.
Yeah.
My first show doesn't open until tomorrow, which is the
Okay.
14th. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But so I'm in a show called Edmund Task.
Okay.
And anyone who's familiar with the UK version of Taskmaster, that's
Mm,
essentially our link to the Edmonton version of that. So it's a game show style format where I compete against four other members of our panel, and we're just doing silly tasks. And
yeah.
there's a the task master or an ed master
Yeah.
that assigns points based on creativity, whether you did the task or not. And it's the funniest thing. I saw it last year.
Yeah.
As an audience member, I laughed my butt off, and I thought it was like the funniest thing, and I really wanted to be a part of it. And I,
Very
I
good.
auditioned and got into it this year as a
Very good.
contestant. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. How much of it is improv versus scripted?
I would say, well, because it's already pre-filmed,
Yeah.
so the tasks were pre-filmed, but a lot of it, even during the filming, a lot of it is improv because you're kind of thinking on your feet. Okay, here's the task. how am I going to think outside the box to do this to be entertaining, but
Yeah.
also to complete the task.
Yeah. Very good.
So it's just if you're looking for something that's funny, it's family friendly, but it's just so funny. I really love it, and
Amazing.
it's a great group of people. So Edmund Task.
Awesome. Kingsley, thanks for joining us on the North Road. I appreciate your brain and all the work that you do with myself and my family and our clients as well. So we'll be in touch soon. Okay.
Appreciate you. Thank you, Marshall.
Cheers.